let us talk about the legal system which is prevalent in our country. You see, you might have heard about constitution. Constitution. We have constitution of 1973. What is constitution? What is its place in a legal system? Just telling you that a constitution is mother of all laws. Constitution is the mother of all laws. This is the supreme law. All laws, whether they are criminal in nature or they are civil, all these laws spring out of constitution. This is the constitution which allows making of law. You see, enactment. Okay, so then question comes that although it is the supreme law, but sometime you might have heard people, particularly our parliamentarians, member of parliament, they say that parliament is supreme, parliament is supreme, parliament is supreme. They are laymen. They don't know actually. Let me tell you, don't forget this, that parliament is not supreme. What is supreme is the constitution. What is supreme is the constitution. If you compare parliament with this constitution, constitution has got supremacy over the parliament. Okay, how can you how can we come to know whether you see in a certain state or whether in our state, the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, what is supreme, whether you see as claimed by the parliamentarian, by the politicians, whether parliament is supreme, or there is a concept or there is a legal phrase. Don't forget, and if you like you can write it down. It is called judicial review. You see, what is the litmus test? Litmus test, you see, to know whether in a certain country, in a certain state, the parliament is supreme or the constitution. So the litmus test is, you see, you look into the system of a state. If the supreme judiciary has got the right of judicial review, then the constitution is supreme. If the supreme judiciary has got no such authority, then the parliament is supreme. What is judicial review? Uh, Parliament is bound not to make law which is in contravention with the provisions of the constitution, the supreme law. The parliament has no authority to make a law which is in clash with the provisions of the constitution. If just suppose a law has been made by the parliament and the parliament has passed it, not only the parliament has passed it, but the president has signed it and it has been promulgated as a law. You see, if the Supreme Court of Pakistan comes to know, either under the suo motu action or in result of the application of an ordinary citizen, if it comes to know that a law has been made by the parliament, promulgated as a law, but it is in clash with the constitution, then the Supreme Court can look into the matter, can examine the matter, and if it concludes that the law is in contravention with the provisions of the you see of the constitution, then the Supreme Court, the Pakistan Supreme Court, has got this authority to turn it down, to strike it down, to declare it null and void, even if parliament shouts, even if president agitates. But once the Supreme Court has said that law is abrogated, is strike down, that law will have no value in the legal system. So who has given this authority to the Supreme Court? The Constitution, which means that the Constitution is supreme. As against this, in the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom, the Supreme Court of The United Kingdom has got no such authority. Parliament can make any law. You see, it cannot be challenged in Supreme Court. Supreme Court has no right of judicial review. Okay, so we can say that in the Britain or United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, you see, Parliament is supreme and not the Constitution. Coming to the classification of law. The next topic is classification of law. You don't know how many laws are there, what laws are called civil, what criminal, what substantial, what procedural. Okay. Uh, you see, category, the first category or first classification of law is substantive law and procedural. Certain laws are substantive laws, certain other laws are called procedural laws. So, um, substantive law, the law which regulates, which prescribes rights and duties, right and wrong, rights and duties, that is substantive law. And the law which you see enforces rights and liabilities is procedural. You can't understand unless I give you a living example. Like breaking someone's teeth is breach of his safety, isn't it? It is an offense. It is punishable offense. Who tells you that punching someone on his cheek, breaking his teeth is an offense which is punishable? There is a law which tells you, and that law is called Pakistan Penal Code. Pakistan Penal Code tells you stealing someone's mobile is an offense, punishable. Okay, breaking someone's teeth is an offense. Saying something which defames the other, which injures his reputation in the society, is an offense which is punishable. It tells you right hand. But the question arises that the one who has broken my teeth, you see, how can I get him punished? How can I compel him to pay for my medication, for my treatment? Pakistan Penal Code will never tell you this. Pakistan Penal Code just tells you that breaking your teeth is an offense, which the punishment is this. Stealing of your mobile by someone is an offense. This is the punishment. But what to do? How to get the wrongdoer, you see, punished? Who will tell you that? You go to the police station and police will prepare a challan, and then the judicial magistrate will try the case. There is another law which is known as criminal code of criminal procedure that regulates and that tells you how to enforce your law, and if you're how to enforce your rights, and if your right has been encroached upon by someone, how to get him punished. Okay, so that is called procedure. So another example, I agreed to teach you 3 hours a week. You people agreed to pay me 3,000 rupees a week. Okay, both of us, we have concluded a contract. You see, and both of us, we are bound to perform our part of contractual liability, to keep and perform our promise, isn't it? If one of us is not not keeping his promise or breaking his, just suppose I taught your class for 1 month, and now you have refused to pay me, so you have infringed my right. Okay, who tells you that you are duty bound to pay me? Who tells me that you are duty bound under this contract to teach them 3 hours a week? The law is known as the Contract Act 1872. which we will study in detail in this semester. Okay, so okay, okay, I'm very happy that the Contract Act 1872 told me that, you see, my opponent, the LLB 7 Section B, is bound to pay me 1 month's wages for my teaching. But how can I get this? Which court? How to access the court, etc. These details you can't find it in the law of contract. Why? Because the Contract Act 1872 only talks about the rights and liabilities. So the law which talks about rights and liabilities is called substantive law. And the law which talks about or which deals with enforcement of rights and liability, that is procedural. Okay, this LLB 7 section B, they agreed in writing, this is the writing, sir, and they now refusing to pay me. Go to a civil court. Okay, what to, should I, can I tell the civil court this verbally? No. Who says this? The Code of Civil Procedure. Code of Civil Procedure. The Code of Civil Procedure will tell you how to enforce your right through the power of court. Okay, so in short, the law which talks about rights and liability is a substantive law, and the law which talks about enforcement of right and liabilities is a procedural. Second classification is criminal law and civil law. Wrongs are of two types. Wrongs are of two types: civil wrongs and criminal wrongs. Okay. Uh, the best example of a civil wrong is breach of contract. If you have promised, if you are contracted and you are breaking your contract, but other there are other civil wrongs as well, which are not which are independent of a contract. They are called tort. For instance, if one of you walks angrily towards me, just suppose I'm not your teacher, I'm your classmate. I said something which got annoyed. Who? Just suppose that Muhammad Afan Abid, he walks angrily towards me. He is a young man with the fist like this and say, I will break your, Mr. Shaukat, I'll break your teeth. He has the ability. Okay? So if he comes, God forbid, if he comes and punches me on my cheek, breaking my two teeth, this is a criminal wrong and he will be punished for that. But if when he was few inches away from me, he was caught by someone and he was stopped, so he could not commit the criminal wrong against me, but at least he has created fear in my heart. His creation by angrily walking towards me, threatening to break my teeth, has created fear in my. This is called civil wrong, and even for this, I can take the matter to a court of law and can get money from him.